My parents sued me for the inheritance they spent, money I never even touched. They said it was mine in name only and accused me of stealing from the family. Bear with me because this whole thing is wild. Hey viewers, just a quick thanks, over 15% of you are already subscribed. It means a lot. I never thought I'd be the one going no contact with my own parents. I used to see people online talking about it, cutting off family, and I'd think, that's extreme, that's sad. Now I realize what's actually sad is letting yourself be bled dry by the people who are supposed to love you. This story isn't about one betrayal. It's about decades of being used, manipulated, and guilted until I finally snapped. I was 11 when my grandpa died and left me a trust fund. It wasn't millions, but it was six figures, enough to pay for college, maybe a house down the line. He made it clear it was for me, for my future. My parents were named custodians until I turned 25. At the time, I didn't think much of it. I was grieving. My parents told me grandpa left them a small amount too, and that the rest would sit in savings. I believed them. Years passed. I worked part-time jobs, got good grades. I kept hearing about that money in the background of my life, a safety net I never touched because I trusted it would be there. But when I graduated college debt-free, thanks to scholarships and my own hustle, they acted like they had done something extraordinary. Mom said, "You're welcome. Not everyone's lucky enough to have parents who plan ahead." I didn't know what she meant at the time. Now I do. I started asking questions about the trust when I turned 24. I wasn't trying to take it early. I just wanted to know how it was invested, what the plan was for disbursement. Every time I brought it up, Dad got defensive. He'd say things like, "You don't need to worry about that yet," or "It's better if it keeps growing." And I wanted to believe him. I turned 25, the age Grandpa set. I asked again, this time directly, "Can I see the account info?" Silence, then avoidance, then anger. Finally, my mom snapped. "We used it, okay? We had to, life happens. You wouldn't even have the opportunities you do if we hadn't." My stomach dropped. I couldn't even process what she was saying. Used it, used my trust. Apparently, over the years, they'd pulled from it a little at first, then more. A temporary loan here and there, for my brother's private school, for their kitchen remodel, for Dad's failed business. When I asked how much was left, they looked away. There was nothing left. They drained the entire thing. They told me to calm down, that I was being ungrateful, that money comes and goes. I spent weeks in shock, trying to wrap my head around it, trying to convince myself maybe it was a mistake, maybe they meant well, maybe. But no, they stole from me. Not only that, they spent the last decade patting themselves on the back while I worked 60-hour weeks and skipped meals to stay afloat. The more I dug, the worse it got. They never told my grandfather they were struggling. They chose to use my money instead of downsizing or changing their lifestyle. And the final punch. They told the rest of the family I had blown the inheritance, that I'd spent it irresponsibly. So when I went to my aunt, the executor of Grandpa's estate, to figure out what had happened, she was cold and suspicious. "Your dad said you were always asking for more," she told me. I hadn't asked for anything. Eventually, I lawyered up. Turns out the trust technically had rules and my parents broke them. There was supposed to be oversight, paperwork, but they faked documents, lied to the bank, spent it all before anyone could intervene. And when I confronted them with legal action, when I told them I could press charges, they beat me to it. They sued me, claimed I'd agreed to family financial arrangements, and that I was trying to defame them. They tried to flip the narrative, paint themselves as victims, said I was a disrespectful son poisoning the family over money. My own parents took me to court. Over money they stole. I can't explain the kind of pain that puts in your chest. It's not just betrayal, it's erasure. Like your truth doesn't matter. Like your suffering is inconvenient to the story they're trying to tell. I spent the next year in and out of mediation. We settled out of court. I got a small portion back, not even half, just enough for a lawyer to say, "It's the best you're going to get." My parents still claim they did nothing wrong, that I owed them for raising me. I've cut contact completely. It's been almost 3 years now. I have a new phone number, a new city, a new life. Some nights I still lie awake wondering if I did the right thing, wondering if I should feel more guilt. But then I remember what they said during the lawsuit. Dad looked me in the eye and said, "You were never supposed to find out. Not sorry, not let's fix this. Just you weren't supposed to know." And that's when I let go. That's when I stopped mourning the relationship. Because how do you grieve people who never saw you as a person? If you're listening to this and thinking it sounds familiar, trust your gut. If your family moves the goalposts every time you try to stand up for yourself. If love is conditional on your silence, your sacrifice, your obedience. That's not love, that's ownership. And you don't owe anyone your identity, your peace, or your future, no matter what blood says. My parents gambled with my future because they thought I wouldn't fight back, because they believed they owned me. But I fought anyway. I lost more than I got back, but I won the only thing that mattered. Freedom. And I will never, ever give that up again.